Hi everybody, this is John from the Santa Cruz City Schools IT department, and I'm going to talk to you today about Google Meet. This is a tool that we have available to us as part of our Google subscription that could help us in case we need to do distance learning. Or you could use it other times too. It could be very useful for everybody. So this right here is meet.google.com. You can also find it in your regular app menu, which is this 9 square icon right here, and it's that one with the little camera icon. This allows us to do video conferencing basically, and there's a few options around that. We'll go over it. So just very simply, we could start a meeting just by clicking right here, and then you could, we'll just name it something, test. You can name it your class name or whatever. And then you can, sorry, we're doing this quickly, so I'm not rehearsing this, so I'm going to sit here and go do a few times. We'll join it, and then there is a link right here. You can pass this out to your students by email or post it in your Google Classroom or what have you. There's also a dial-in in case students don't have access to the internet at their house or a device, and Meet will work with pretty much any device. They can use mobile devices or whatever, but if they are just on a data plan and they don't want to use up their data, they can call in and get audio. Obviously they won't be able to see anything, but we're working with what we've got here, right? Okay, so you can copy this joining info, mail it out to people. You can also direct add students just by entering their email address. Like I could add Curtis and he'll get an invite right away. When they join, you'll see them up here. See, I've got a list. There's nobody in here right now. There's a chat, so your students can chat with you and with each other. That's good or bad. We'll kind of go over some of the limitations in a few minutes here. But we can add people here as well. We can turn on captions. We haven't tested this. It's automated, so results may vary, but it's there. And we can present. So if you have slides, or you can present your entire screen or a window. So if you've got Google Slides or a document that you want to show or video that you want to show, you can do that here. So if we, let's see, some other options. This is mostly on your end here. You can dial into if your audio on the device you're using is not good. Oh, here's a big one: record meetings. So normally this option is not available to us given the current circumstances. Google has enabled some of their more advanced options for G Suite for Education customers, including us. So we can now record these meetings. The recording is saved to Drive, so your students can refer to it later. This means you can pre-record lectures if you want to, and edit them on your own, present them to your students later, or you can record live meetings just to have a record of it. It's up to you. If you have any questions for anything, this help link right here will take you to Google's documentation, which is pretty useful. You can mute yourself with this button right here. Hang up ends the call. Turn the camera on and off. I don't have a camera on this computer, so you can't see me right now. Over here we've got the joining info again, and some info attachments. We'll look at this in a second. Okay. So that's the basic Meet interface. Normally, if you had a camera, you'd see yourself, and then if your guests have cameras, you'll see them as they're talking and whatnot. Okay, so we're going to end this one. This was just an impromptu meeting. Just started a meeting right from the Meet screen, and you can send out the info to your students. Another way to do that, possibly better, is start from calendar. Here I have a Meet test calendar just for this purpose. You will have calendars, of course, for all of your Google Classroom, so you can use those calendars to start these meetings. We'll just start a new meeting here. Add title test. You can add guests here. And we'll click right here to add conferencing. Hangouts Meet. So this right here will be the link. And when you send out the invite to all of your guests, this information will be included in there. One thing we want to look at here. So the Meet I just showed you, that's the traditional like web conference kind of thing. Everyone who's invited can talk. There's some other problems with that, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But we can change this to, and this also shows the phone numbers here. We can change this to add live stream. What this does is it will present the meeting that you're doing as a live stream, just like if you were watching like a live YouTube video or something. So you can have a live meet with your students, however they cannot interact with you. Depending on your preferences, that may be better. You could still have chat, like in Hangouts chat, you could have a chat room open in another window, so you can still interact with your students by chat, but you can be presenting and talking without the possibility of you being interrupted by your students. That may or may not be good for you, totally up to you. And you can combine the two also. So both of these things will work at the same time. So you can have, say, 1 or 2 students or a guest teacher, student teacher, whatever, in the meeting with you. So you can be talking back and forth live, and that meeting will be live streamed with this link. And you can give this to your students, this to a guest, maybe 1 or 2 students. It is possible to combine the two and like have all of your students on live stream watching, so they're just viewing and they can't interact. And then if you want a student to interact with the class, send them this link, have them join the meet so they can interact with you live until you finish that part, then have them leave and go back to the live stream and then invite another student. Be creative with it. These, how you use the tools is what's going to work best for you. And this is new to us, so we don't really know what's going to work best. We just got to try it out. So I'm going to save this meeting. If we invited people, that information, of course, would be distributed to your students. If you didn't want them to see this link, we could just copy the stream link right here. Don't invite anybody, otherwise they'll see this Hangouts Meet, the interactive part here. Just post this link, the live stream link, in your classroom. So the students will join this one, not this one. Hope that makes sense. Sorry if I'm going through this a little fast. Again, did not rehearse or write any of this down. All right, so now we've got this event live here. I'm going to join the meet. So this is what you would do if you were the teacher here. So this is going to join a meeting just like we did previously in a second. Okay, here we go. Join now. All right, so now I'm having the meet. Right now it's just me. I could invite somebody else and we could talk. When you're ready to start streaming, since we added live streaming to this meeting, click Start Streaming. Okay, it'll confirm with everybody in the meet, which right now is just me. So I'll just say Start Streaming, but everybody in has to agree. So if you have a guest, you both have to click Start Streaming. Streaming will start soon. This takes a few seconds to start. There we go. Now we're streaming, and so up at the top left here it says live. So other people, if they have the live stream link, they'll tune in and they'll watch this. The delay between live and when you see it on the live stream is about 10 or 15 seconds. So that makes live interaction a little difficult. At least there's a delay, but it is possible. What it looks like for attendees, we can just pop this open in another window here. And I'm going to mute myself because this will cause feedback if I don't. Whoop. Yeah, there we go. See, that's about how long the delay is. This is what your students would see. Unfortunately, they can mute you or stop the live stream, but as I said, limitations. But when I'm in, so here being a student watching the live stream, I can't interact, so I can't talk back with you. Good or bad, up to you. All right, so that's what you students will see. Okay, back to the live stream here. I'm going to unmute myself. So I talked about some limitations. Now, we are going to have some trouble with this, but as I said, limited options. Other people who are guests in your live stream can mute you, meaning your students can mute you. They can also kick you out of the meet. Sorry, not live stream. They can kick you out of the meeting. It's easy to rejoin if you get kicked out. I won't do it, but this link right here doesn't change. So if you get kicked out, it'll just show you a message that says you've been kicked out of your meeting. That's very rude. But you can just like reload this page and you'll load back in, and then have a discussion with your students about maybe how not to act on this particular occasion. So those are the limitations. I wish there were a way to work around them, but with Meet right now there's really not. I think combining the live stream and the live meeting in some way might be your best way around that. But if your students can handle it, this of course will be more interactive. The live stream less so, but up to you and how you want to arrange that. I'm going to stop this now, and if there's anything else I need to add, I'm going to edit it on later. Thank you for sitting through my unrehearsed TED Talk on Google Meet. Have a good one.